First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash, Thawadi Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, for letting me do another video through His Spirit. Thawadi Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, for giving us this truth as worms. Double honor to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and salutation and blessings to the hopeful elect. And I just want to do this lesson thinking about the movie Odyssey. And I was talking with the brother from Chicago, Shakal, one of the higher ups out there in Chicago. And, we were talking about how wasn't nobody in that movie supposed to be an Edomite. And I started looking into the chat, playing with the chat again. Should have just started doing a lesson called Diving into the Chat. But, looking into the chat GPT, and just going on Google, the Battle of Troy was roughly 900 to 800 years before Alexander the Great, which were the Greek Edomites. So why in all these movies and in Hollywood are all these depiction of these Japhetic people, so-called Polynesians, why are they depicted as white men, European men? And I'm going to get into the chat and see what the chat, I just want to get something specific that the chat said, but I'll start with my first question. And the reason I'm doing a lesson on this, because if he's willing to lie about this, what else is this man willing to lie about? Esau is the forger of lies. The scriptures call him that for a reason. And we're going to get a few scriptures. And we're not going to stay on this topic too long. But if he's willing to lie about this, and these people aren't willing to just do a simple Google search to see who was really in the Battle of Troy, and not just believe what they show on Hollywood, just do a little bit of fucking history, we're going to have this problem. Self-history will go a long way in this country. But like Elder Makama says, this is not the home of the brave. It is the home of the bend over and take it, and they'll take anything. If these motherfuckers... I got an argument with my sister and my niece. I said, y'all not black. I said, is your fucking skin black? I said, your hair is black. They're like, no, we're black. I said, you're brown. You're brown. There is not a single black person on this planet. And I want to do another lesson on that. We're not black. We are brown. We're melanated. You know what color melanin is? Brown. Different shades of brown. Ain't nobody black. This screen is black. The still that I'm going to put up is probably going to have some black in it. We are brown people. I said, do you call an Indian black or do you call them brown? Didn't have shit to say. Okay, but it's a headache, man. It's like, goddamn. I get, because I watch Elder Makama and Elder Yashwan, but a lot. Elder Makama hates that shit, that black shit. Black. Black. You motherfucker, you the furthest thing from black. You're brown. Get it through your numbskull head. But this is what I asked the chat. I said, when did the Trojan War become whitewashed in modern media? Because during the time of the war, which was 830 years before Alexander, the people would have... Let's see. The people would have fallen... I don't know why that was fallen. The war would have... I meant to put fight. And the war would have been dark skin. It says yes. But the important distinction between whitewash and historical depicted too informal as white. Okay, it says the Trojan War was probably around 1250 to 1180 BCE, before the Christian era, as they call it, or before our Lord. It says the traditional Greek, the traditional Greek colony placed the Trojan. Let me make sure that's the right word.
Chronology,
I'm sorry. Placed the Trojan War roughly in the 13th century BCE, centuries before Alexander the Great, who lived 356 through 323 BCE. So this battle was years before Alexander. And we know through scriptures, through relics and through history, just history, that the people that would have been fighting during that time would have been melanated people, not black people, as you call black Americans, because Jake wants to make everybody a so-called black man. No, they were just melanated people, just as everybody else. The Hawaiians, Polynesians, as they're called. Those Picts. Even in the movie, the Eagle, those people, the Picts, should have been dark-skinned people. They shouldn't have been no Edomites playing in that role. So let's just jump down. I want to get to one point, because it just talks about the difference between black people and as so-called black Americans. It says ancient Greeks and Trojans weren't necessarily black. Yeah, in the modern racial sense. Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. But portraying them among. Let's get this word. I want to make sure I got this right.
Exclusively.
Okay. But portraying them among exclusively as pale North European is historically misleading. Through their actual Bronze Age Mediterranean appearance would have more varied and generally shouldn't be imagined through the racial appearance of modern Europeans. So right there, it's historically misleading. And I'm going to play it again just so y'all can get it clear.
Ancient Greeks and Trojans weren't necessarily black in the modern racial sense, but portraying them almost exclusively as pale Northern Europeans is historically misleading. Their actual Bronze Age Mediterranean appearance was more varied and generally shouldn't be imagined through the racial appearance of modern Europeans.
Exactly. So why in that movie recently, The Odyssey, were these Trojans displayed as so-called white male? Because Esau is a white supremacist. He can't display anybody doing great things but him. White people didn't do the Trojan War. You didn't set up the horse. You didn't do anything. You didn't do that. You culture vulture as you always do and put something upon yourself when it was never you. These were so-called melanated people. And I ask another Christian, says, no, I'm not saying black people as in black people as African Americans, but were they dark-skinned people or the original Greeks melanated people? Yes or no? Says yes, with an important qualification. Yeah, so right there, these people were brown pigment people. So saying all that, actually I'll read this. It says, now I'll ask again, because I told it to stop saying that. Olives are two colors, green or black. It says, now I will ask again, were the ancient Greeks or of a dark pigment, or as Hollywood shows them? It says, yes, the ancient Greeks were generally more pigmented than Hollywood stereotypically portrays of them as pale-skinned Europeans. So you're a liar. Majority of the Edomite greatness, which people think Edomites did, is based off of a lie. You Edomites, which you like Alexander the Great, which he was a freak weirdo. You have notable Edomites. But you eat this. If you're willing to lie about this, what else are they willing to lie about? Esau is a habitual fucking liar. All he does is go around the earth spreading lies. So let's get that. Let's get that in the book of Revelation. What would Esau do when he came back in power? Not only would he use the sword, but what would he use the sword to do? To push his philosophy and his lies through the planet Earth. Let's get this. Revelation 20 and verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the keys of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And that bottomless pit was Europe, where you Edomites were put down for a period of 1,000 years by Jake. And he laid hold of the dragon, that old serpent, because you Edomites are the spirit of that same man, going all the way back to the garden, dealing with who deceived Eve. You're that same spirit, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. So let's just jump down to verse 7. It says, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan, which is the Renaissance, Satan shall be loose out of his prison. Actually, let me just go back to this chat real quick, because it mentions the Renaissance period. I want to find it real quick. It mentions right here. Let's get this. I'll let the chat play it.
Modern media often portrays Bronze Age Greeks and Trojans as much whiter and more Northern European looking than the historical Mediterranean populations likely were, much more defensible. And if you're asking specifically, when did Hollywood the West start turning Achilles, Hector, Paris, Helen, etc., into the stereotypical white European characters we see today, I can trace that development from Renaissance, art, neoclassicism, 19th century European racial theory, Hollywood.
So right there, the Renaissance, neoclassicism, bringing back the Roman way, bringing back the Edomite superiority. You Edomites are just they're white supremacists. And you're not white, you're red. You're not white, Esau. You're red. You're trying to run away from your true identity for all this time, but it's being revealed in the earth that you're Edom. You're red. You're not white. Trying to hide under the color white. Nigga, you ain't white. You ain't pure. You're the devil. You're the fucking devil. And all you do, and we're going back to that Revelation. This is Revelation 20 and verse 7. And it says, when 1,000 years, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loose out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them to the battle, the number of whom is as the sands of the sea. So right there, Esau would go out and deceive the planet through lies and through his sword. That's how he conquered the world, man. Esau, you've been found out, man. That's what you're mad about. You're mad that you've been revealed in the earth. Like the scripture said you would be, the son of perdition should be revealed. And we'll get that. Your son of destruction, man, who powers after all lying wonders and signs. And that keep coming out on your ass. This is, let's see what it says in it. Okay, it says the same thing in the GNTD. Not too much different. Let's go to this. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 3 says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except the coming of the falling away first, which happened. We fell away, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Let's jump to 9. Even him whose coming is after the workings of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness, and them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So right there, let's get that word deceivableness in the Greek, off the blue letter. This is you're being revealed in the earth, and you're mad because you're being found out. You've been found out. Shouldn't have made the internet, nigga.
Strong's G 539. Apate.
Apate says deceit, deceitfulness. Let's get into Google. Let's look it up. It says deceitful, guilt of avoiding or involving deceit, deceiving or misleading others. He's misled the world. Esau, Edom, has misled the world, but now he's being found out. He's made the world to think that he was this noble, this upright, this righteous man. We did the Trojan War. That was us. We came up with that marvelous invention. No, you didn't. We did the pyramids. No, you didn't. You didn't do any of that. You stole cultures and put it upon yourself as if it was your own. You didn't do anything but be a thief. And what do you do when you catch a thief? You brand his ass. And you've been branded with what? That leprosy, nigga. The Lord branded you. You've been branded from the beginning. And you lucky the Lord put that blessing upon you, that whoever slays you, sevenfold shall come upon him. That's why the Lord got y'all killing each other. The Lord got y'all killing each other. He cancels it out. Let me get this, man. Esau, you've been caught, man. Your power was deceit and lies, but those deceit and lies are being destroyed by the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Shema Shai. This is Isaiah 32 and verse 5. The vile person shall no more be called liberal. Yep, that white man, the white man. And you ain't white, you dirty. You the red man. The color of blood. Says, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainly, and and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy, to utter error against the Lord, Yahweh, and to make empty the souls of the hungry, and will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. And this is Esau. And I want to bring that out because if he's lying about something that clearly has nothing to do with him, what else is he lying about? What else if you're a critical thinking person, well, if he lied about this major event, what else is this man lying about? Is he lying about what the image of the Lord is? If he's lying about history, what else has he lied about history? I'm sorry, did I phrase that right? If he can sit there and boldly proclaim this bold-faced lie to millions of people across the world, because it's a lie, if he can do that, what else is he lying about? Esau's a liar, man. He is the forger of lies. He must go. So, Lord, I hope this lesson was edifying. I hope the point was made. If this man will lie about this, what else will he lie about? A battle that had nothing to do with him. He says he puts it upon himself. So, Lord, I hope this lesson was edifying. God praise be to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai. Ba'ashem Rakakodashim. With that, shalom.